Hello everyone, and today we're going to go over the settings section of the application, which is that little gear icon at the top right hand corner. You notice here on this application for the kindergarten school, I'm going to see the app settings here. The app setting is mandatory for essentially any of our Coronado or Gaslamp source codes going forward, because Google and Apple both make them a priority and something that is mandatory for all their applications. You'll notice that we have a lot of good information in here, and there's a decent amount of information in how it's connected. For example, if I have the sign up option turned off, when a user goes to select this, they'll be able to enter in their profile information versus being prompted to the sign up. They'll be able to enter in their name, their email address, and I believe their birthday, and that's how their profiles will be managed. We also show privacy policy and any terms of service that you add. But you're going to ask, well, where do we add that? Let me show you that today. So I'm going to go back into our CMS here, and I'm going to go and click the settings button at the bottom left-hand corner. I'm going to close this preview we're at, and you notice there's a section called app screens. So anywhere where there's a screen that's controlled within your application, this is where you're most likely going to be able to modify it. So you'll see here, I'm going to be able to turn on or off exactly what I want my users to see. For example, I'm going to start with social accounts, so I can turn these on or off. In some cases, I'll be able to select if I want Facebook only, Twitter only, email only, Google only, and that's linked here. Under terms of service, some terms of service or some applications or businesses may require that you have a separate terms of service. You can easily show that in app. You just turn this icon on and then you enter in the URL for that terms of service. So in this case, we could use the business apps one and enter in the URL, and that's what would be shown in that particular section of the application under settings. Next, we're going to look at the privacy policy. The privacy policy is hands down probably one of the most important things to your application, especially with the implementation of the GDPR in the end of May in 2018. This is definitely something that we are going to need to pay attention to. Now, by default, we put a privacy policy in all of our applications. That way that could be used, and it tells the users exactly where that data is going to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to custom here, I'm going to double click, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to hit go to, and you'll see that our privacy policy shows up right here. But you'll notice a couple different things here is that there's no information that's showing up. For example, your privacy policy is critically important to us at blank. We have fundamental principles, and you'll notice there's a couple areas where there's just words missing. Well, let's see why. I'm going to go down and I'm going to hit default, and I'm going to hit the edit button, because that allows me to edit the privacy policy in accordance to the business that I'm building the app for. You're going to see a lot of these yellow highlighted areas. This is where you have to implement the appropriate information, i.e. what the effective date is, the company name, the abbreviated company name, and as you go further in, you'll see that you'll have to replace those particular phrases multiple times throughout. It even asks for an email address at one point for personally identifying information and any necessary changes or requests that the app user may or may not want. We also have the ability to add the GDPR EEA supplement to our privacy policy. So you'll notice that if I turn that on, it adds an additional supplement that I now have to go in and modify, which is absolutely fantastic. We did a lot of the legwork there for you, but there still is a good amount of information that you need to apply. So once my privacy policy is all updated, now we're going to cover social. In regards to social, social covers not only just how the interactions happen within the application, but also from a privacy standpoint. So we want to be able to turn user commenting on or off. This is great for industries such as schools or maybe trade unions where they don't want people publicly discussing something within the application. Also from a security standpoint, not all that bad. In this case, we can turn that off for this particular application. We can turn on or off social onboarding prompts. This is more so for older source codes, because everything that is on our NorthPark source code and further will have the sign in, sign on, login feature, which allows you to do the exact same thing. So this is essentially going to be going away in a certain period of time, but we leave it in there for the applications that are still using it. And then this is where you modify your share default message. We have gone over that in previous videos, and this is definitely something that you want to take advantage of for your app to be able to control that message that your users share. With that being said, that is our settings within the application, as well as the settings gear icon within your application itself on how to modify and make changes to it. Should you have any other questions, please let us know. Thank you for watching.